Next would be your gonads. Your gonads, or your ovaries and testes, are organs that produce gametes, sperm in males and oocyte or egg cells in females. So your ovaries are paired oval bodies located in the female pelvic cavity. It produces two hormones. You have your estrogen and you have your progesterone. Those two hormones are important in maintaining the menstrual cycle, your pregnancy, since it produces your relaxin. Your relaxin increases the flexibility of your pubis symphysis during pregnancy. Also, it aids in the dilation of the cervix during labor and delivery, and also for the mammary glands for lactation. During puberty, it increases the fat deposition in the breast and hips of the females and maintains the secondary sex characteristics of the females. It also produces your inhibin. Your inhibin promotes a negative feedback to your hypothalamus and your pituitary gland. Since your follicle-stimulating hormone promotes development of the follicles in the ovaries, your inhibin inhibits the maturation of those follicles in the ovaries. The estrogen and your progesterone promotes the development of the female reproductive structures such as your uterus, your vagina, and your fallopian tube. Secondary female characteristics such as the breast enlargement, your fat deposits on the hips and thighs, the bone development resulting to wider hips, and a higher pitched voice. The menstrual cycle is also controlled by these hormones, and the releasing hormones from the hypothalamus affects the anterior pituitary gland to produce the gonad-stimulating hormones, your luteinizing hormones, and your follicle-stimulating hormones. Okay, so this would be your menstruation calendar, and this would be the phases of your menstrual cycle. So you have two main phases. You have your follicular phase that happens in 1 to 14 days, then your luteal phase that happens 14 to 28 days. So your follicular phase is where the maturation of your follicle occurs with the help of your estrogen. So after reaching the ovulation or the release of the egg cell, the dead follicles will now be called your corpus luteum, okay, and will now enter your luteal phase, in which your corpus luteum will release three hormones: your estrogen, your progesterone, and your inhibin. Next, your testes are the oval glands that lie in the scrotum here. So in the females, they have the estrogen or the female sex hormone. So the counterpart in males is called your testosterone, which is an androgen. So it stimulates the descent of the testes before birth. It regulates the production of sperm and maintains the male secondary sex characteristics. It also produces your inhibin. Again, your inhibin inhibits the secretion of your follicle-stimulating hormone from your anterior pituitary gland. So your FSH promotes the production of your sperm cells. So through negative feedback, your inhibin will inhibit the overproduction of those sperm cells. The testosterone is responsible for the development of the male reproductive structures, and at puberty, the enlargement of the testes and the penis. It also promotes the development of the secondary male sexual characteristics, such as the growth of the facial and chest hair, deepening of the voice, muscular development, bone growth resulting in broad shoulders and narrow hips. It also promotes the development of the male sexual drives and aggressiveness. So this would be the testes of the males. So your luteinizing hormone and your follicle stimulating hormone will enter the testes via the bloodstream. Okay, so your seminiferous tubules contains your spermatogonia, in which it is the male germ cell, okay, but it is not yet mature. Upon entering the seminiferous tubules, your luteinizing hormone will stimulate the cell to secrete your hormone testosterone, and your follicle stimulating hormone will produce the androgen binding hormone, which is important for the synthesis of your spermatozoa. Your ABP, or your androgen binding protein, will then bind with your testosterone. So your testosterone will trigger the spermatogonia to undergo your spermatogenesis until the maturation of your sperm cell. This would be the summary of the hormones of the ovaries and testes. So for the females, you have your estrogen and your progesterone. So they regulate the female reproductive cycle, maintain pregnancy, as well as maintain the female secondary sexual characteristics. In males, you have your testosterone, in which it regulates your sperm cell production. It also promotes the development and maintenance of the male secondary sexual characteristics.